If you can't understand Jesus' parables, this lost eyes to see teaching changes everything. Have you ever read the parables of Jesus and secretly wondered, why do they feel mysterious? Why does it seem like something deeper is hidden inside them? And why did Jesus say something so strange in Matthew 13:13? Though seeing they do not see, though hearing they do not hear or understand. Think about that for a moment. Jesus was not speaking to atheists. He was speaking to religious people, people who believed in God, people who went to synagogue. Yet he openly declared that most of them could hear his words, but still not understand them, which raises a disturbing question. What if the majority of modern Christians are doing the exact same thing today? Reading the parables, quoting them, but completely missing the message hidden inside them. Because Jesus himself warned, whoever has ears to hear, let them hear. Not everyone has those ears, and even fewer have the eyes to see. In this video, you will discover the ancient key to understanding Jesus' parables, the very key he hinted at when he spoke about eyes to see. Once you understand this, the parables stop sounding like simple moral stories and start revealing a hidden spiritual map, a map that the early mystics understood, but which was gradually buried under centuries of literal interpretation. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will never read the words of Jesus the same way again. Before we go further, pause for a moment and type "My eyes are opening" in the comments. This simple act signals your intention to receive the hidden message and unlocks the deeper teaching ahead. Most people assume Jesus used parables to make things easier to understand. But that is not what Jesus said. When his disciples asked why he spoke in parables, his answer was shocking. He said, "To you it has been given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it has not been given." Matthew 13:11. Let that sink in. Jesus admitted that the parables were designed to reveal truth to some people and conceal it from others. This was not an accident. It was intentional, because spiritual knowledge has always worked this way. In ancient mystery traditions, sacred teachings were hidden inside stories. Only those who had awakened perception could see the deeper meaning. Everyone else heard a story and walked away. This is exactly how Jesus taught. He hid profound truths about consciousness, awakening, and transformation inside simple stories about farmers, seeds, lamps, and vineyards. To the ordinary listener, they sounded like moral lessons. But to those with eyes to see, they were spiritual instructions. And this leads to the real question: what does it actually mean to have eyes to see? Most Christians think Jesus was speaking metaphorically. But the phrase eyes to see has a very specific meaning in ancient spiritual traditions. It refers to spiritual perception, not physical sight, not intellectual knowledge, but awakened awareness, the ability to perceive truth beneath appearances. Jesus hinted at this repeatedly. He said, "The kingdom of God is within you." Yet people kept looking outside themselves. He said, "If your eye is single, your whole body will be full of light." But few understood what the single eye meant. In many ancient traditions, the single eye referred to an awakened inner awareness, a level of perception where hidden truths become visible. Without this awakening, the parables remain locked. They sound like stories about agriculture and coins and lost sheep. But once the inner eye begins to open, the symbols start revealing something far deeper. And nowhere is this clearer than in one of Jesus' most famous parables. Consider the parable of the sower. On the surface, it's about a farmer planting seeds. Some fall on rocky ground, some among thorns, some on good soil. But Jesus later reveals that the seed is the word. and the soil represents different states of consciousness. This is where the hidden teaching begins. The seed is divine truth, but the condition of the mind determines whether it grows. Rocky ground represents people who hear truth but cannot hold it. Thorns represent minds choked by distractions and worldly concerns. But the good soil represents a mind that has become receptive and awakened. In other words, the parable is not about farming. It is about inner transformation. Jesus was explaining why most people hear spiritual truth, yet it never changes them, because the inner ground is unprepared. Without awakening the eyes to see, the seed cannot grow. Another example appears in the parable of the lamp. Jesus said, "No one lights a lamp and hides it under a bowl." On the surface, it sounds like a simple moral lesson. But the symbol of the lamp appears throughout ancient mystical teachings. The lamp represents inner illumination, the awakening of consciousness. Jesus was teaching that this inner light is not meant to remain hidden. But most people never ignite the lamp at all, because they remain trapped in external religion instead of internal awakening. They follow rituals. They repeat prayers, but the inner light remains unlit. The parable is a warning. Truth must become illumination within you. Otherwise, it remains just words. Now here is the uncomfortable part. Why don't most churches teach this deeper interpretation? Because mystical teachings are difficult to control. They place responsibility on the individual. If the kingdom of God is truly within you, then spiritual authority cannot remain entirely external. Throughout history, institutions often favored simpler interpretations. Interpretations that emphasized belief over awakening. So the deeper, symbolic layer of Jesus' teachings slowly faded from common understanding. But it never completely disappeared. Fragments remained preserved in ancient writings, mystical traditions, and the teachings of early seekers who understood that Jesus was pointing toward inner transformation, not just external belief. So what is the key? How do you develop these eyes to see? Jesus hinted at 3 essential shifts. First, seek truth beyond the surface. Never assume the obvious interpretation is the final one. The parables are layered like symbols. Second, cultivate inner awareness. The more conscious and attentive you become, the clearer the deeper meanings appear. Third, apply the teachings inwardly. The parables are not descriptions of the outside world. They are mirrors of the inner world. Once you approach them this way, something remarkable happens. The stories start transforming. The symbols begin speaking. And passages that once seemed simple begin revealing astonishing depth. Conclusion: the awakening Jesus was pointing toward. Now you understand why Jesus repeatedly said, "He who has ears to hear, let him hear." He was not speaking about physical hearing. He was speaking about awakened perception. The parables were never meant to be merely moral lessons. They were initiations into deeper awareness. And the truth is, most people will read them their entire lives and never realize this. But now you know the key. The next time you read the parables of Jesus, don't just read them. Look through them. Ask what the symbols reveal about consciousness, awareness, and transformation. Because once the eyes to see begin to open, you will realize something astonishing. Jesus wasn't only telling stories. He was leaving a hidden map to awakening. A map that has been waiting for those who are ready to see.